Give me a one if you can hear me and see me. I don't think sent me this now. I don't know. Thank you, brethren. Thank you, beloved. Today, excuse me, we are going to get into dirty little secrets. Okay, dirty little secrets about Black history, its heroes, and other troublemakers. Now, I want to formally apologize for the video that I stream on Premiere. You know, copy when it comes to copyright infringement, YouTube and Netflix or Hulu, and they really don't play that. We weren't even play the movie. We were showing the picture of the movie. It was just a picture. We are just showing some photos, and then they black it. Okay, they black the picture. I was showing like in the movie they show when the guy get into the uh final steps of hell, and behind him there were some dolmen, and there was some menhir, there was some other stuff, and they blacked that because copyright and all that. So that's what it was. All right. So my apology to everybody that the screen actually went black. So if you watch it, and that's them. They probably going to ask me to remove it because a lot of video that I did, and then they asked me to remove it, and then I removed it. Beloved, I make this clear before again and again. What you're seeing here, the person that you're seeing here talking to you, and the person that you're hearing in the videos, what you're calling lesson and all, this is me. This is who I am. I am not fake. I will not do something and pretend that I know everything, and pretend that I I'm eloquent. I am well spoken, and my video is always very calm and well spoken. This is who I am. Take it raw or leave it. The most I put it in my heart not to edit the videos. Okay. When you watch people online making video, hey guys, hey this, and their video keep cutting, everyone they say, oh, today I wasn't in the morning, and so, and then I found this, and then I found that. It's called editing. It's called editing. I speak naturally. I let the Most High, whatever is beaming into my head, He is doing this. And I understand ages ago, brothers, the Most High made me do things like that because there are certain people that He doesn't want in His circle. Sometime the Most High will make me say something that will make somebody upset, and that person will show themselves. Okay, that person will show themselves, and that person will speak their mind, what they had in their heart from the beginning. That person will tell you what that person had in their heart. They were hiding. But when you say certain word, and then the person will come out and then say everything from the beginning, and then say, this is what I thought of you. And then the Most High say, gotcha. That's what that is. I, beloved, me, myself, I will not remake my video. I will not cut them, make them to a point that you are so comfortable. What you are hearing, that's whatever's coming out of my mouth. Like I told you, certain things I have no idea where they're coming, and then they come out of my mouth, and then when I check them, they connect. I am an instrument. I am a tool that the Heavenly Father use. That is why, brothers, when I'm stalking, I'm all over the place. I always warn people. I always tell people, listen, this is how I do my video. I'm gonna be all over the place. If you can keep up, if this video that I release, you did not get the message about Vishal Bhavna Patel, If the video that I released, you did not get the message about the 1619, you did not get the message about those people getting rest, you take it personal because I say something there you didn't like, because the stuff that's on your own. I'm not here to satisfy you, and I'm not here to make things in accordance to your belief, sugarcoating things for you. This is unscripted raw. You can't take it. Like I always say, I don't even know why people unsubscribe, block me, go somewhere else, and go to that person that will accommodate you and cut the truth and make you feel comfortable. We know in part, we prophesy in part. I will not sit here, beloved brothers and sisters, and tell every single person here, I know exactly where this place is. Oh, it's over there, because I watch a video. Some dude say it's over there. I told my people, you have to put boots on the ground. Is it there? Can one of you go ahead and then verify that? If I'm proving wrong, well, wait, it wasn't there, then it's here. Is our home, the promised land is in Israel, Israel, in the desert? Somebody can go there and prove and stuff. If you cannot handle this, if everything is all about your emotion, how I feel, this is what I feel ever since you upload your first video. I saw your lesson, you don't know anything and stuff like that. That's what you heard in your heart, and you hide it. And the Most High made you confess it. And there's record. Whatever you sent me, it's a record. Everything is being written. It's written, it's a record. And I'll tell anybody, if you have beef with anybody, brothers, if you anybody that that person you did that person says something you don't like, you don't go to this person and say, this is what I always thought of you. This is what I always said. This is what you just unsubscribe, you go somewhere else. You let it go. Remember, 2 nights ago, a sister called, for those of you that were the witness of the Heavenly Father. A sister called. The sister said, please be careful of what you are saying with your mouth. Okay, she said she regretted an incident that happened since in the 90s. She says something out of her mouth. She said, I would never travel by plane again if it's not for an emergency or something like to that effect. And then she had to go ahead and fly and go see her grandson, which had an aneurysm, and he ended up being brain dead before she got there. And since that day, she blamed herself. That was the lesson. That was the lesson. Not because the sister truly did this. Be careful what you say out of your mouth. When a brother, when a sister says something you don't like, beloved, you just don't like it. This is not about me. Somebody coming over there, brothers, somebody says something about somebody else. Somebody says something about that book that I'm reading. Oh, it's fake. It's not real. We're not blacks. We're not this. Okay, good. I'm going to keep on moving and reading, and you keep doing what you are doing. But for me to go against Big Judah Loin and say, Big Judah, this is what I always thought about you. I always knew that you were a pastor. You hide this, you hide that, because he says something I didn't like. Look, again, I'm saying this, I'm going to say this. Everything that you see here is raw. What I'm doing here is live. I don't plan anything because I don't have any plan. All the plan is from the Heavenly Father. Everything that I'm going to say here in this book, it's from this book. It's from the Heavenly Father. I don't cut my videos and I'm like, man, I shouldn't say this. Some people are going to get upset. I should have said that. Some people, no. I said everything that come out of my mouth according to this book. I'll be very careful not to personally attack people, because I know everything is being written. There's record. We told you this. Beloved, let us go into this book. Let us see when we were in Jacob's trouble in our own lands. Again, our land were desolated unto us because we were slave on our land. You cannot be slave in the land, then you own this land. And it's under your control, then you're not slave there, man. Okay? The land was desolated unto us because the Most High turned his face away from us. He took the priests down and he took our kings down. So the land was desolate. The people came in into our land. They bought their own God, says Ariboja, and then they bought their own priests, the priesthood of Mahan, and then they bought their own president. And then they become king, queens, princes of our land, and they own our land, the land desolate. Therefore, we serve Genesis 15, verse 13, and our own land all over the world. We didn't serve anything in that place over there, in that little strippy bitty land of Israel. We serve slavery practically everywhere except in certain places. Practically everywhere. Okay? They were taking us from here, from America to the Caribbean, from the Caribbean to America to Africa to here, to Europe, to Indonesia, to Asia, to China. They were taking us all over the world by boats. They were taking us from here, Florida, and drop us in Georgia, on the coast of Georgia. Take some of us in the coast of Georgia and drop us in Canada. Grab some of us in Canada and put us in France. They were putting us everywhere around the world. And now the Heavenly Father is gathering us. Brethren, let us read, let us see the lies that the people told, how they twisted history just like twisted scriptures. Beloved, before we move on to this, the reason why I said this, brothers, some people been sending me a message, well, we are not blacks, you're teaching false teaching and stuff. You didn't even watch the video, man. I'm not telling people that you are black, you are brown, you are minority, you are Cowboys family, you are alphabet people. I'm not telling you any of this. If you cannot pass the message that we're going to read here, the hell you, what's going on? Why are you here? Beloved, let us dive in. This is chapter 2 of Dirty Little Secrets. Chapter 2, Heroes and Heroines. There will arise a champion to fight my cause. And times on time, beloved, I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask certain questions to make sure the family are on the same page, because sometimes I'm thinking like, certain things that I know and I think you guys already know it, and then I speak on it and then I end up confuse a couple people. In the late 1890s, okay? In the late 1890s, James Parker, a black man, knocked down and captured Leon F. Zolgosis. It's kind of like a weird name. The assassin who just shot President William McKinley at the Buffalo Exposition. Anybody know about this? Anybody knew it was a black man? It was a Hebrew man. It was a brother that knocked down and captured Leon F. Kozolgos, the assassin that shot William McKenzie. If you didn't, now you know. And they never said anything like that. They never bought anything like this. They say, well, our people always been hero protecting the higher up. How do we get paid? How do we get paid? They put prison and all that. I was watching a video. Again, I don't touch on the subject because they are too sensitive, and certain people, because this is one, too sensitive, and two, it's not my duty here to touch on things like that. A white man, so to speak, came into a brother and started telling the brother Haitian stuff like that, and then he called the brother name and stuff. Oh, the whole squad show up to this dude's house. They threaten him. The police, well, he got arrested. The police have to come and shield him. The people were throwing bottled water on this guy. And if the people weren't there, they would have lynched this guy. And then he was like saying the same old. Oh, it give me opportunity. I know I made a mistake and all that. A mistake my ass. Yeah. A mistake what? Brothers, you would have never, ever see something like that happen 20, 30 years ago. Not even 2015, you would have never seen anything like that happen. 2019, you would have never seen it. The guys throw bottle at the police, water bottle. The police were carried away and then protect this guy and put him in the car and move. That means things are changing. If, beloved, you cannot see this, if everything is all about you and then how you feel and how the matrix and the Illuminati work, when it comes to the Father, man, when it comes to the Father glory, I don't deal with things like this. I don't care. I don't blame anybody. Always, brothers, always research. Always research the Illuminati, the stuff. I personally, I've been doing whew, virgin. It will sound like a brag, but I did I did my research, and the most I said that's enough. Now you understand I control everything. Yes, sir. If somebody want to believe that you live inside a giant computer like the Matrix, that's on you. This is reality. This is real. What happened to that guy? They grabbed this dude. They had to protect him because the mob show up to his house. And if nobody there, they would have done stuff to this guy. This is reality. This has nothing to do. Oh, they staged that act. No, this is real. Now, in 1895, W.E.B. Du Bois was the first black person awarded a PhD from Harvard University. He was the first to introduce the concept of Pan-Africanism and become recognized as Black America's most prominent scholar and activist. No wonder they give him that PhD. Harvard has ruined more Negro than whiskey. Zaza. Okay. In 1908, Jack Johnson defeated Tommy Burns in a 14-round boxing match in Sydney, Australia, to become the first black heavyweight champion of the world. That is why, brothers, the moment they start, quote unquote, allowing us to get in certain sport, we start to dominating the sport. Jack Johnson is also the inventor of the wrench, aka the monkey wrench. The reason why they call it the monkey wrench is because it was invented by a black man, Jack Johnson, the boxer. Okay, for those of you out there. And all the mechanic, they are using the wrench and stuff. Okay, they say, give me a monkey wrench and stuff. The monkey is another derogative term for a black man, just like boy. A national hero. Now, beloved, we want to tell the story about John Brown, a white man, all right? On the morning of December 2nd, 1859, as John Brown's body hung from the gallows in Charleston, Virginia, free and enslaved blacks across America kneel and wept in his honor, okay? They prayed for his soul because they knew they had lost a friend and devoted protector. Ironically, listen, ironically, beloved, this is what they never told you about James Brown. Ironically, John Brown, I'm saying James Brown. Why am I keep saying to the beloved brother James Brown name? Again, ironically, John Brown was a descendant of Peter Brown, a passenger on the Mayflower that brought the first freedom seekers to America. Even the name John Brown sounded black enough to give black people comfort. But John Brown was not black. He was a white revolutionary who believed he had been ordained by God to free the black race from enslavement. John Brown went to his own people, white men. He told them, we cannot enslave those people in their own land. If we continue doing this, we will bring a great curse, a great plague upon our children. We must let them go. And they tell him no. He said, I know you guys. The only way for us to get those people out, we're going to have to take you people out. So John Brown, beloved, mounted a crew. Now, John Brown, a white man, a a revolutionist, abolitionist, whatever you want to call it. He met with Frederick Douglass. He met with Harriet Tubman. And he's telling them that he about to mount a revolution, a grand coup to overthrow the whites and free the blacks. But he did say, beloved, I can't do it because I am white. I can make the first step because the Heavenly Father ordained me to do this. For this movement to succeed, a black man or a black woman, a black person have to take charge. So, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, somewhat in some level, agreed. So John Brown take his own family, brethren, his own children, his own people. They get guns, they gathered, and then they come to free the blacks. I believe. Let me see the town. I'm trying not to read it and tell you the story and stuff like that. Okay. So the message, he said he received the message from God. Let me read it. This is page 22. With his message from God in a party of 21, including his sons, daughters, and 5 blacks, Brown invaded the state of Virginia, captured town of Harper's Ferry, seized the U.S. Armory, and freed some 50 slaves. With the series of revolutionary acts, the white militant almost single-handedly created the passionate emotional climate that led to the Civil War. So we know the number 21 is destruction. It was already doomed from the start. Listen, the Mosai do things like that to show you the white man can take you out of slavery. The black man cannot take you out of slavery. The black woman, the white woman cannot take you out of slavery. Your political leaders cannot get you out of this. They try. John cannot get you. Jack cannot get you. No one can get you out of there except for me. And I will deliver you with a mighty hand. That's the point of the Most High here. Beloved, John Brown and 21 people, the 21 small people, they captured the armory. You know what an armory is, brothers? That's why they put all the guns and powder, all the weapons. The Most High said, no one can deliver you. This was a prophecy in the book of Deuteronomy, the chapter 28, the whole chapter 20, Deuteronomy 28, 69 or 70. Okay, no man shall buy you. No man shall buy your freedom and deliver you out of this. Only the Most High can. In the book of the Pillar of Fire, it is say this. It is on. The queen says only a God can get those people out of this thing. Even the queen, the Pharaoh herself could not free Egypt. Could not free the Hebrews out of Egypt, except the Heavenly Father could have done this with a mighty hand. That was his point. More than any other whites before or since, Brown confronted the issue of black liberation forthrightly at a high personal cost. He sacrificed not just his own life, but the life of a number of his own children. And paying his last respect to Brown, Frederick Douglass said, Brown's struggle and the cause of freedom was superior to mine. Mine was a small light. His was a burning sun. Mine was a bound by time. His stretched away to the silent shoreless of eternity. As a black man, I am willing to speak for the slaves. John Brown, a white man, was willing to die for the slave. How do you explain this? James Brown know damn well who we were. He know who we are as of today. That is why he was willing to give his own life, so he would receive his forgiveness from the Heavenly Father. He knew who we are. If you just watch, before we move to this, big brothers, I don't want to confuse people. Which one of you watched the recent video by the beloved brother Big Judah that he talked about when the sky where the meteorites were falling upon the earth, so to speak, the meteorite shower? The slave master thought it was Judgment Day, and they start to telling the slave, "This is who your mom is. This is who your dad. This is not." He They were telling them, "You are the children of God. Can you petition on the behalf?" So let me see if everybody saw this for the people. Yes. Thank you for all of you that saw this. It's the same thing, beloved brethren. Sistren, it's the same thing. When John Brown realized that those people are the children of God, the true Israelites, he realized they were on their own land, in the promised land, the birthright land. And he said, "You know what? Not my family, not me." That is why him and his whole family died. That's one way to go and then petition from the Father. Say, "Father, I'm going to do something drastically for your people. I'm willing to give my life for you." John Brown, brothers, John Brown raids on Harpy's Ferries appear to have failed, primarily because it was not supported by visible black leadership. In preparing for the raid, John Brown wanted a black leader such as Harriet Tubman or Frederick Douglass to join his crusade and call the slaves to arms. Brown believed black slaves would not rally to an unknown white man, but both Tubman and Douglass declined to join his party. After seizing and holding Harper's Ferry for 2 days, Brown's judgment was proven correct. The slave did not rally to his side. Outgunned, Brown waited too long for the slave to rise up, allowing federal troops the time to travel from Washington, D.C., capture his raiding party. So John Brown could not take over because the blacks didn't want to rally against their own masters, even though he wanted to free them. Frederick Douglass said, "Nope, I'm not going to come." Harriet Tubman said, "Nope," because she was sick. Frederick Douglass said, "Oh, hell no, I'm not coming." And then he was there standing with his gun in his hand and his family. He captured the place for 2 days. Word already went to the cavalry and the army, the military sent forces. They came in, they arrested him. They took him and his family, and then they hanged him. They killed him because the blacks did not want to rise. You got Negro running to the Massa. "Massa, they come here to feed us. Massa, Massa, they come here to take out." When James Brown was coming, that was the first black man that was sitting and run, tried to warn the place. John Brown shot him. They shot him. They killed him. That is why the two-third gotta go. The two-third have everything here, brothers, and their hearts. Oh, yes. Oh, I'm fighting for with you, Big Levi. We here fighting. The moment they heard something that is threatening their life, they run straight back to the master. They don't want to die, man. That is why I like my place here. I like the people that I'm here with, the prayer warriors, the people that supported the Most High. That's why I love my people, man. Some of them will give their life. It's not about them. It's about the Most High. It's about their feeling, their emotion. It's about what I felt. It's about the Most High. Harriet Tubman was sick. Frederick Douglass run for his life. They did not. So they took John Brown. They hang him and his family. They kill all of them. John Horse, a black hero. The runaway slave John Horse had the distinction of being one of the few, if not the only black in America history who stood up and fought both slaveholders and the United States Army. He did so for 50 years of his life, and amazingly was never defeated in battle nor captured. They never defeated John Horse, and they never captured John Horse. They don't know what happened to him. When John Horse escaped slavery, he chose Florida as his sanctuary. Around 1820, like hundreds of other runaway slaves, he assisted in building the Maroon settlements and allied with Seminole Indians. against slave hunters and military incursions. Okay, the so-called Seminole Indians, they were a bunch of black people, runaway slave. Okay, that's what they were. When since Seminole Chief Osceola was married to a black woman named Morning Dew and had several mixed sons, the Seminoles were more receptive to black runaways than other Indian tribes. Not all Indian tribes, brothers, are Israelites. There were a lot of so-called Indian tribes. They weren't Israelites. They were other nations. They came into fight. They run the Indians out of the land. A lot of the Indians, they weren't our people. The one that are our people, you will know them. They will stand up, they'll fight for us, they'll speak for us, they'll die with us. But the one that's not our people, they'll rally against us, they'll swagger jack everything, they'll steal everything. Just like not all black people are the children of God. Some of them are other nation. Not all African American are the so-called the children of the Heavenly Father. They are not. Sin, John Horse and Wildcat. It's too bad mother. Okay, one of Osceola's sons were top lieutenants in battle strategies for the Seminoles. The Indians and blacks for General Andrew Jackson. Did you know Andrew Jackson hated Indian and blacks above all? Andrew Jackson hated black folks and Indian. He could not fight them. He could not win them. Okay, he used to go ahead and ambush women and children and massacre them. Andrew Jackson, the president. Was he president? Yes, Andrew Jackson was president. Is he on the $50 bill? Yes, let me check. I think Grant is on the $50, right? Andrew's on the 20. Is that what that is? Yeah, Andrew Jackson is on $20 bill, and then Mr. $20 bill, he hated blacks and Indians. The Indians and blacks fought General Andrew Jackson and his military command to a standstill during the various Seminole wars in Florida. White mercenaries and militia reported to the United States government that black runaways and leaders like John Horse were the best soldiers that the Seminoles ever had. After three great Seminole wars, the government defeated the Black Seminole Indian Alliance in a part by capturing Chief Osceola under a flag of truce. That's how coward they are. They could not fight the brother. They could not fight the chief Indian Seminole Osceola. They say, you know what, you won. You know what? Let's wave the flag of truce. Let's come in. Let's sign the treaty. Give you guys your land and get the hell out. Let's come. And then when the chiefs show up, they are arresting him, just like they did to Toussaint Louverture. When Chief Osceola died in prison, John Horse and Wildcat become the Seminoles' new leader. In 1844, John Horse, Wildcats, and other chiefs traveled to Washington and met with President Polk to develop a peace accord as a compromise in the 1850s. Both Horse and Wildcat were asked to assist the government in relocating the Seminoles to Arkansas. Horse took his black Maroons with him and to his new Indian territory. Seminoles and black Indians did not find peace in the new territory. They were constantly harassed by their old enemy, Creeks, Chickasaws, Cherokees, Choctaw, and whites, all of whom were slave traders and slave owners. Okay, they were fighting. They could not find peace in the land. They had all sort of other groups, harassing them, traitors that betray their own people so they can fight against their own people. Just like if you go over anywhere in Africa and then Caribbean, you will find people that look like you that kidnap you for money. They will not give you peace. I was watching a video of a brother he moved to Tanzania. Okay, he's one of Israelites that believe Africa is the new land, and a lot of them moved to Africa, and a lot of them come back. And this brother came back. Unfortunately, his mother swagger jack him $1,400. Well, that's a sad story, man. Your own mom, your own mother. They had no mercy upon you. The moment they see money, they'll do anything. They sell you out. They'll do anything to you. Yeah. Well, that's a horrible thing, man. Yeah, I watch many Israelites going in Africa, which I'm not against anybody going to anywhere. The entire world, the entire earth belong to you. You want to move to Africa, man? Go ahead, go. Do this. If somebody you move in Africa because you're afraid of what's going on here, you move to Africa because I don't know, America going to be destroyed. You go to Africa. That's false. The Mosai, you cannot run away from the Mosai's destruction. Wherever you are, the destruction will find you. If you go to Africa and then spend some time over there with the brethren, good, good. But if you go there to hide, mm-mm. If you go there in fear, the Messiah is going to return you back where you belong. He's going to return you there. Okay, some of our people, they think I'm against Africa. No, I'm not. A lot of people, they are very comfortable behind their computers. They are typing, but they never go there. And I appreciate the brother. He's brave. He went over there. He faced reality. He like, oh, now he's homeless somewhere in California, somewhere in Los Angeles. He's homeless. A brother, you want to move to Haiti, to Jamaica and stuff, go there, but don't go there to hide. Don't go run away. I'm gonna go there hide because nothing's gonna happen to Haiti because I don't know. It's a part of the promised land. There's the Atlantean temple over there. I'll be protected. It doesn't work like this. It doesn't work like that, beloved. Okay. They were fighting the traitors, the other 2/3 and the Indian side were fighting them for the white man because of the money. All right. Horse and wildcat labored to feed the blacks and Indian families. But after white slave hunters murder wildcat, John Horse concluded that 50 years of fighting was enough. He decided to relocate it to Mexico. John Horse packed his black and his Indian family and rode off into the setting sun towards Mexico. They were never seen nor heard from again. So John Horse, beloved, after 50 years of fighting for people, his own people come against him for money for the white man. They took wild cats. They kill him, and then he said, "That's enough, man. I give 50 years of my life for this, man. I'm 70. I'm in my 70s. I'm old. Take my wife and my tribe, and then they go down in Mexico." You don't know how many of our people that are down there in Mexico let's see, since the 18 after the Civil War in 1820s, 30s, 40s, I think 50 years, it was 1870s. Since the 1870s, we got a lot of our people in Mexico, the true Israelites. A lot of people are, and the so-called Mexican, they are not true Israelites. The true one, you will know them by the fruit. You will know them by the way they act, the way they talk. All right, we have a lot of our people over there. Okay. Thank you, sister. Thank you, brother Lawrence. Okay. All will face judgment. You cannot run away from the Messiah judgment. A black hero brought Christmas cheer. Okay. Even our people, I mean, they always bring things to, even if it's the holidays, but so that is. During the Christmas holiday in 1811 in Richmond, Virginia, a black slave showed compassion for his fellow men and is frequent spoken but rarely demonstrated. One of the day after Christmas, Richmond High Society gathered the local to see a visiting play. During the play, a prop boy dropped a lamp that immediately ignited the flimsy scenery and set the theater ablaze, trapping a larger number of wealthy white slave owners inside. During this time, brothers, there was a play in the town of Virginia, and there's a prop boys. One of those boy that have the prop. So when he was bringing a lamp and the lamp fell on the floor, everything was built in wood in that stage. The whole thing caught on fire. And then this place had nothing but wealthy whites, slave owners, brothers. And they were trapped inside. They could not get out. There was a black man, a 6'2", 200 pound, a big ass black dude. His name was Gilbert. I think Gilbert Jackson. Let me see. His name was Gilbert Hunt. Gilbert Hunt. He was just outside, and then he jumped, and then he leaped. He break the window with his bare hand. He get inside. He grabbed the people one by one, brothers and sisters. He saved them. There was a woman. She was so large, so big, they could not get her out. That was the sister. Let me read this for you. Okay. Strong and agile at 6 feet 2 inches, Hunt fearlessly stood beneath the burning building and caught the screaming people as they were lowered out of the window one by one by Dr. James McCall. The last woman, Dr. McCall's own sister, was so large that Hunt, unable to catch her, used his body to break her fall and save her life. There was a woman, there was a white woman that was so big, he could not catch her. And then he said, dropped her. And then he run, he break the fall of this big woman with his own body. Despite Hunt heroics, more than 68 whites and 5 blacks perished in the fire. In the aftermath of the tragedy, petition urging that Gilbert Hunt be emancipated and appreciation for his heroism were ignored by his own owner. The law said if a black man, a black slave, save white folks or any white owner, you automatically freed. There's a name for that. I don't want to miss. The name is meritorious manumission. Okay, that's the name of it. You will receive that automatically. His honor denied that. And the people that he saved, all of them, they just turned their back. I don't care about you Negroes. How dare you sitting over there and say we never did anything for those people? How dare you sitting over there and say, Big Levi, we need to pray for them, man. We haven't done anything for those people. How dare you? You think if you pray for those people, the Most High bring them in the kingdom, they will respect you? You think that's how it works? The same people that he saved, brother, they just turn around, they're like, whatever, dude. I'm alive because I saved myself. You didn't save me. The same people. Then his story. This is the Most High proving to you, brothers. This is the Most High proving to you. Those people cannot change. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, they can't change. Listen close, brothers. Listen. Then history repeat itself. And Hunt was once more again a great hero, this time during a great fire at the city's penitentiary. Prisoners were trapped at the second floor of the jail. The only escape route windows were covered with iron gates. Hunt rushed to the scene. He held a fireman on his shoulders, who used a crowbar to tear out of the grating and bedding and the bricks. Once again declared a local hero. Hunt was again denied of meritorious manumission. By this time, however, he had earned enough as a blacksmith to buy his own freedom. He remained a hard-working tradesman until his death in 1863. Half a century later, a tablet of his memory was permanently affixed to the wall of Richmond Monumental Episcopal Church. The same thing happened. The people were trapped inside of the jailhouse, okay? And then Hunt went and he took a firefighter, carried a firefighter on his shoulders. He ran to the fire, and then he helped break the prisoners out. And then they didn't give him hish. They didn't free him. By that time, he had many money. He had a great amount of money. And then he bought his own freedom, which shows you, the Most High shows you, if you can pour your heart, you can give your life for those people, they will not respect you because that's truly who they are. That's who they are, brothers. You can do anything for those people. They won't respect you. They will call right there in your face and get your freaking filthy hands off me, man. And they will tell the people, I'd rather die in this fire to let a filthy Negro touch me. They'll say this. I dare you, man. Our people, we went through a lot, man. I dare you. I dare you saying like you should have been praying for the enemy. I dare you. Hundreds of years ago, those people are still like that. They're still like here. That is why I would tell the people, man, stay out of it. You see, if Gilbert Hunt, the first fire, stay out of it. They all die. Second fire, stay out of it. And then he bought his own freedom. He wouldn't suffer from the psychological damage for years. Like, man, I saved those people, man. They didn't look at me from nothing. Man. It's like, yo. Those people cannot change, brethren. No matter what you do, you pray, you don't pray. And that's all you've been doing for the past 400 years, praying for your enemy to change. They never did. They never did change. Let us move on, beloved. Harriet Tubman, female role model. Without a doubt, Harriet Tubman was a bare-knuckle freedom fighter and liberator of her people. As the progenitor of the Underground Railroad, a metaphor for helping fugitive slave escaping to Canada or Free State. All right, a lot of people don't know this, brothers. The Underground Railroad is a metaphor. There weren't no actually train transporting our people. It was just a metaphor. Okay. Yeah. Excuse me. All right. Tubman did immense work in Border Lash. Although her spirit was as strong as her body, she carried a pistol and was prepared to use it to engender respect from whites and intestinal fortitude and cautious blacks. At a great risk to her own life, Tubman was made repeated trips into hostile southern areas to draw enslaved blacks out of captivity. Over a 30-year period, she led more than 300 escaping blacks slave to freedom in the North. You know what that means? You spent 30 years slaving, like risking your life, slaving 10 people a year. At least like probably one person a month to get them free. And she did more than one person a month. Most of them returned back to their owners. They didn't want to stay. 30 years, man. 30 years, brethren. That says a lot. Our people, we went through a lot. 30 years of straight up fear that one day, that day going to come, you're going to get caught and you're going to take your head off. Yes, Sister Shirley Green. One side, Tubman, Harriet Tubman, the story, the way they told the story was kind of made up, but she wasn't completely made up. She wasn't, according to Dr. Claude Anderson, she wasn't taking the slave up north thousands of miles. She was taking them down Florida. And she was killing a lot of them. A lot of them that tried to flee, she would shoot them and kill them. Harriet Tubman was more bloody than the Harriet Tubman that you see here. One of the main reasons why they use her for the movies and Sully, the great name. Yeah, Harriet Tubman, she was real, no doubt. But the story, the way whites tell it, she says she saved like 10 people a year, almost one people every month. That's not what happened. She would get like hundreds of them. And then in the middle of the road, her and her crew, they almost kill most of them because they are complaining and they want to go back. And then Harriet wasn't bringing them to Canada into the cold. He was bringing them in South and Florida, put them in boats, ship them, some of them in Haiti, ship some of them in Jamaica, ship some of them in the Martinique, and then she was taking them out of the country and bring them to a safe place. But they didn't want that. They would fight against her. She would blast and kill them. That's the story Dr. Claude Anderson clarified for us, the true story of Harriet Tubman. Okay? Yeah, the same hish Moses was dealing with all people, man. Yeah, a lot of people, brothers, there are certain things I'm not going to bring to you. The same hish, you deal with the same people. They are here quietly watching you. The moment you say something and then they don't like it, oh, they're against you. They're against you. They reported you to Google. They reported you to YouTube. Those are the people, but brethren, that quickly, when Big Judah says something about a book, they quickly emailing the book person and say, "Hey, this book worth more than some stuff, some more than what you're putting on the Amazon for." Those are the people. No way the enemy can keep up with everything that we say. It is scumbag that are here that disagree with what you said, and then they quickly go over there and then reported you. The 2/3. All right, to guide the runaway slave, the song suggests that they follow the tale of the Dipper, the Big Dipper constellation of the North Star. Okay, so Harriet, she was dealing with a bunch of those things. All right, the gun-toting female mail carrier. All right, anybody remember that movie that we were talking about this morning, Proud Mary? Anybody remember that movie? With Taraji Henson, Taraji P, is that what they say, or Tarajai? I'm not quite sure. I'm not too good with Hollywood people out there. Proud Mary, that movie. This is where the swagger jack Proud Mary. The gun-toting female mail carrier. Throughout history, black women have been forced to act and perform like men just to survive. One such woman was Mary Fields. That was her real name, Mary Fields, known as Black Mary. Okay, and then they took that black out. They put proud. And I'm going to just to throw this out there. For those of you who saw that movie, Proud Mary, did they give her a cowboy hat in that? I'm sensing the whole thing about Proud Mary. They feel like some cowboy stuff went on that movie. Anybody can clarify that? I don't want to be wrong here. Did anything happen? Any biscuit bumper in that movie? But she could probably be a massive biscuit bumper. So anything that anybody saw that thing? No, that's not what happened. Didn't see it. Nobody saw that movie. Really? Huh. Well, our people really don't like garbages. Our people really don't watch garbages. When they saw those things, they're like, huh, whatever. They just let it go. I'll take the answer no, because the name Proud Mary, they always like, Okay, all right. Lenny saw it. All right. Okay, great. Good. Now, this is the real story, brothers. One such woman was Mary Fields, known as Black Mary, reportedly born a slave in Tennessee in 1832. Black Mary lived first in Mississippi and then Ohio. Later, she moved to Montana, where she became one of the most memorable characters in the annals of Western history. You heard this? She became one of the most memorable characters in the annals of Western history. Tall and weighed at more than 200 pounds, she was a gun-toting stagecoach driver and the second woman ever to regularly drive a United States mail route. A crack shot, she wore a 38 pistol strapped under her apron. You know what they say when they say somebody is a crack shot? Yeah. Mary Field was a authentic cowgirl. Oh, she would have shot you like, well, you blink, she would shot you. If you watch the movie, The Hateful Hate, you can see when you're reading the story, you say, wait, this is where this guy get the story. The story of Samuel L. Jackson. She's an expert shot. She can shot a fly wing off a fly. That's how she was. She was really good. Okay. Oh, she was big. She was carry this male, and she will shoot before you even draw your gun. She shoot faster than her own shadow. That woman was good. Black Mary's reputation earned her many dangerous routes inhabited by Indians and male bandits. So all the bad road, beloved, all the dangerous road. Let's say you wanna get you wanna get something delivered to Chicago. You hire Black Mary, and it will get there. Black Mary let them know I'm coming. And then she will get on a stagecoach, and then she will travel places to places, brethren. And in the moment the robbers, the so-called Indians and male bandits, again, a lot of those Indians used to be white men, put paint in their faces and then go around and yell, and then shoot and kill people, and they say, oh, Indian did it. Just like today, they put blackface. You got this guy in Chicago. I think he was one of those Chicago politicians and stuff. He wore dreadlocks, blackface, he wore a giant beanie, and then he beat the crap out of his wife. And then what gave him away? And then he says something to the wife, and then he run. And then people call the police. They say a black male, 6 foot tall, with dreadlocks, beat a white woman and took her purse and stuff like that. The woman said, no. I know who did this. I know who did that. The woman called him and said, my husband did this. And then they arrested the dude. He was a white guy. They do that a lot, brothers. They did that a lot, okay? All right. Oh, crap. Her reputation for expertly employing her weapon to protect both the male and herself dissuaded many would-be robbers. At her death by natural cause in 1914, Black Mary was mourned by her townspeople as a black pioneer. Okay, there's a lot more we don't know about this woman. How many people she took out? All praises, man. The first black naval hero. Robert Small. Robert Small was born a slave behind the cotton curtain, but become a black hero. Just after the outbreak of war in 1861, Small, who had learned about ships and sailing from his father, was made pilot of the Planter, a steamboat the Confederacy used to transport guns and ammunition to the rebel army. On the night of May 12, 1862, the ship docked on the Charleston, South Carolina harbor, and the Planter's white officer went ashore. After alerting the 7 other African-American seamen aboard, Small, donned a captain's dress uniform, took control of the ship, and steered an out of Charleston harbor past the gun of the Fort Sumter into the northern kingdom of the behind Union lines. So this brother was in the Navy. He was in the Union. He was in a Confederate side. He was in the South. So they had a giant ship that has a bunch of ammunition and guns and stuff like that. So he was one of the pilot. I would say the navigator assistant. And when he was there, on the night of May 12, 1862, they docked the ship at Charleston in, I believe, North Carolina. So the white officers left to go get some stuff, go in the town, go see the professional bakers, and go get drunk. And he stole the ship, piloted the ship, and give it back to the North. That was a huge victory, man. Did you know the South has way more money and way more guns than the North? Because the South had the slave. They had more wealth. The reason the North won is because all the black slaves. The North know they could never win until they tell the slave, if we won, we'll free you, which didn't happen. Okay, he become a political leader and all that. All right. Now, Black political heroes. Frederick Douglass. Now, this man is so controversial. And brethren, we're just reading this for a book, okay? From a book. Let us read this man from a book. You have to understand the message from the Most High, okay? Black political hero Frederick Douglass was born a slave in 1817 to a white father and a black mother, who gave him the name Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey. In 1838, as a young adult, he escaped from slavery. As a fugitive, Douglass became a militant political leader who spoke at abolition rallies through the North. When his best-selling autobiography, narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave. I don't know who read that book. Anybody read that book? Narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave. Before we move in. Oh, God. Baby, I need some water. Okay, let's see if anybody read this book. Okay. Oh, no, not yet. Brethren, our people, we need to read those things. We need to check them out. Just so, can you throw the one that I think one of my air fell on it? All right. Okay. All right. Most people don't know about it. That's good. That's good. All right. That's good. Thank you, beloved. All right. The name of this it's a narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, an American slave. So we have to read some part of it and see how our people used to live. Even though his father, quote unquote, was a white man, you gotta dive into the life that they were living back then. Live from the primary source, the people that were in slavery. Okay. Let's see where we were here. Okay. All right. Now, was published, he earned a reputation as an outspoken and eloquent black hero. Although Douglass was a political radical, he frowned upon black nationalism. He based his view and tactics on the principle of compromising and non-violence. Those principles were adopted a century later by India Mahatma Gandhi, who in turn served as role model for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the Nobel Prize winning black civil rights leader. It wasn't Gandhi that come up with the strategy. It was Frederick Douglass. Let me finish with this and I will give you a little history on the narrative, okay, and the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, all right? Some people say they read a part of it. I did did also. Yeah, I know. And then let me tell you what happened. Thank you. You're welcome. It was Frederick Douglass who came with that non-aggressive, non-violence thing, and then Gandhi copied from it, and then Martin Luther King copied. It wasn't Gandhi that they made it look like Gandhi come with that thing. He wasn't. Everything that we do, those people always swagger jacked us. Anyway, prior to the Civil War, Frederick Douglass was the most prominent and respected black in America. But unlike John Brown, a white man who was willing to pay for the ultimate price for black freedom, to die for black people, Douglass did not match his rhetoric with action. Okay, a lot of leaders are like that, brothers. They do not match their rhetoric with action. Because Brown believed that black slave would not join a group of freedom fighter led by a white man, he beseeched Douglass to join him on the raid on Harper's Ferry. Douglass refused to join Brown, arguing that the plan did not stand a chance of succeeding. Prior to his death in 1896, Douglass revealed the real reason behind his decision not to join John Brown in the raid of the Harper's Ferry armory to secure weapons from a massive slave revolt. Douglass confessed that he refused to join the Freedom Riders, not so much because he thought Brown's raid would fail or because he opposed violence, but because he, the most famous black man in America, was afraid for his life. Frederick Douglass was afraid. He was just scared. Thank you, beloved brother Mentor OG, for the super chat. His story suggests that Frederick Douglass did not mind being a black hero, but he did not want to be a black martyr. A lot of our people are like that. They talk a good game. The moment H get real, they run. That is why I have a great deal of respect for Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, no matter what you say about them brothers, man. They were real. They knew they are going to die, yet they did die. A lot of people on YouTube on YouTube with their little their little YouTube channel saying, "Hey, they're not ready to die, man. They're not ready." The moment they come after them, they start crying. Look at that young lady. F the police, and she got into a car and then she hit a cop and killed the cop. The moment they arrested her, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry." Well, you did it. A lot of those people, they just talk a good game. Oh boy, it's buffering. Okay, is it good? Am I back? I think that thing was buffering. Ah, it was buffering. I guess they cut the internet. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to do this thing again. All right. All right, good. Oh, I'm back. All right, good. I was about to make another video, but then again, there. So, Brethren, Frederick Douglass, in the book A Narrative of Slave, or one of the letters I was reading ages ago, Frederick Douglass was a good leader, so to speak. He was all about our people all talking and stuff. But Frederick Douglass was doing much more research. Guess what he found out? He found out there was a country named Haiti, or Haiti. Then he traveled over there. He met with President, let me see. Oh, crap. Let me see. 1896. Give me a second. Let me see the president that was. Well, he met with the king, uh, Haitian president of 1896. Okay, no, he was Tiresias Simon Sam. Yeah. Floville Hippolyte of the Tiresias Simon Sam. Thank you for the little for the super chat. All right. Thank you, beloved brother or sister. Now, Frederick Douglass traveled to Haiti. All right. When he got to Haiti, this is what he wrote, brothers. He said, "I never seen this in my life." I believe he met with Presidents Tiresias Simon Sam or Floville Hippolyte. President Hippolyte, look at me speaking Creole, but President Hippolyte or Tiresias Simon Sam, one of those presidents. When he traveled there and he got to Haiti, and the moment he reached the place, the moment he reached the place, he said something come upon him. And he looked at the people and he said, "I don't see any slave here." He said the people were careless, and in a sense, like they didn't know, they have no idea what slavery is, because in 1896, that's like roughly 92 years when Haiti got freed. And he walked around, he saw all the people, he saw all the beautiful palaces, he saw the beautiful houses, he saw he didn't see not one white man. He didn't see not one white person. All he see people that look like him. He saw the children running around, little girls, little boy naked, running around in the street playing. And then when he looked at them, he asked, he said, what happened here? Where are the white people? And then the people laughed. They said, "There are none over here. This is our own kingdom." They said, "This is our own place. We do not answer to known white men and stuff." And then they said, "Welcome, you are freed. Our ancestor, the emperor, made it. If one of you, anybody, any blacks, any other races that was in slavery, touch the land of Haiti, you're automatically free. You're automatically a Haitian. Here's some land, just stay here and chill." And then they made him the ambassador of Haiti. And Frederick Douglass was so amazed. And then he said, "You know what?" He formed the ambassador, and then he was bringing blacks from here to Haiti, and which was going on a lot of time, brothers. It was going on a lot of time. Thank you, sister or brother Dumpling from Canada, 44. It was a lot. Look, he got so bad that they were running rumor. They say all the slaves came back from Haiti to here because the temperature was so hot and life was so hard. Oh, really? Tell me a life of freedom that was so hard that you go over there. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, and then you come back and say, I'd rather be slave than live free. Who the hell say this? Who went to a country, said nothing but his own people over there? They give you free land. They give you free labor. They give you free things, free money. They give you money you can live forever. And then you drop it, you say, I don't want that. I'd rather go working. And then when Frederick Douglass come back, and then he was telling his brothers and sisters, and mysteriously they find him dead. And the coach, they find him fall asleep. He died mysteriously. They say his soul, he leave his body. That's what happened to Frederick Douglass. When you read, that's from the horse's mouth, straight from him when he was talking. You don't even have to read the book. Just go to the Google, type Frederick Douglass in Haiti or Frederick Douglass. Let me see if I can read what is Frederick Douglass in Haiti. All right, let me see. Let me see if I can read this. Okay. Frederick Douglass speech on Haiti at the walls. Let me see if I can read where it say this. Let me see. Frederick Douglass. We can learn a lot by studying or visiting countries other than our own. Frederick Douglass, as well-known writer, published An Abortion Into Slavery. Let me see. Come on, give me the peace speech, man. Let me see. We should not forget that the freedom you and I enjoy today, he said, is largely due to the brave stand taken by the black sons of Haiti 90 years ago. Striking for freedom, they struck for the freedom of every black man in the world. He said a bunch of stuff, but that's what they put in there. You can do a little research, brothers. You'll find out what Frederick Douglass did. And then they find him, his spirit, his soul leave his body. Okay, well, whatever, man. Hey, man, you say whatever, as if the Mosai didn't see what happened. Only the Mosais know, okay? More unsung black hero. Follow the civil right. The North neglected the plight of freed slave in favor of welcoming new immigrants, mostly white Europeans, streaming into the countries. The federal government abandoned blacks after enacting constitutional amendment to give the former slave paper freedom. There you go again. Those people promise to say, man, if you help us fight the South, you help us free us from the South, we will give you freedom. The moment the slave fought and gave them victory, they pushed them in the corner, and then they start bringing whites from Europe. They start bringing whites from all over the places. What they do, brothers, they actually reinstate a form of slavery upon our people. All right. At the same time, the government withheld the economy and social rights essential to black progress. As a result, many blacks lack the tools and resources necessary to complete in the job and business markets. The black codes enacted by the old Southern plantation owner and politician in the winter of 1865 immediately follow emancipation made black people even more vulnerable. The black codes replaced the defunct slave code of 1705. He just replaced it. 1705 was just old, and then they brought the 1865 black code, which was the same thing, which more garbage, propping it, make it look like something else. The black codes mandate, listen, the black code mandates that every Southern black had to have an annual labor contract in writing with a white landowner and his possession by the 1st of January, or risk being charged with vagrancy, jail, and assigned to public work project. They made you a slave again. They made you a slave. They say the Black Code of 1865 said a Southern black men have to sign a contract with a white landowner, a white condominium, a white vishal, a white patel. You have to sign a contract with them saying that you are working for them from January 1st every year until December 31st. And if you don't, you can be arrested for vagrancy and then you will be in jail. You know what that means? That means you got to get a job working on a plantation and then that white man will pay you if he wants. There is no HR you can complain. Well, I've been working for years, Massa. You never give me anything. I never give you anything. What about the food you've been eating here? What about my tree? When the sun is so hot, you sit under my tree. Is that something? You drink my water. Is that what some you use my tools to do the work for me? How are you gonna say I didn't pay you? Man, get out of here. And then they will call the police. The police will come. They will arrest you because you quit your job. You become a vagrant. You become a loiterer, and that's how they put you in slavery. They make you work a work and never pay you. Anti-black sentiments were so intense that many blacks fled the South for the relative safety of the North and Midwest. That's how the South got so hostile. In 1879, two black men, Henry Adams of Louisiana and Moses Pap Singleton of Tennessee, led an exodus of some 40,000 blacks from Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia for the Midwest. Now you got those two brothers say that's enough. They rally more than 40,000 people from the South, and then they make a grand exodus to the North and the Midwest. And then guess what's going to happen to the brothers, man? That's why we told you our people went through a lot, man. Guess what happened to them? Many traveled the states like Kansas that initially opened their borders. But as the number of destitute blacks in the state grew, the climate became increasingly hostile. Hotel, restaurant, and boat line refused to accommodate the black newcomers. Singleton became so discouraged by the treatment of his compatriot that he mounted a campaign, ultimately unsuccessful, to encourage blacks to migrate to Liberia or Canada. They were treating them so bad. They closed they didn't even want to give them no services. They won't hire them. They were hiring white Europeans. And then he saw the treatment was so bad. He said, man, let's go to Liberia. Let's go to Canada. And then the blacks said, we can't go there, man. And they didn't want to go. In the same year, Edwin P. McBee, a lesser-known black activist, unsuccessfully campaigned to create a Negro state. Let's get our own state. In Oklahoma Territory, guess what? The Cherokee Strip in the Oklahoma Territory was also considered as a site for a black homeland. This movement fell as well. The proposal went down in flames, not only because of the predictable lack of federal support and private assistance, but because of the hostile of Indian as well as whites. In any case, the Oklahoma Territory was no more prepared to accept blacks than Kansas, Iowa, or Nebraska. The civil rights freed blacks from the physical chain of slavery, but not from a handicapping legacy. Our people were going to make. Our people was about going to make Kansas. Is that Kansas? Oklahoma, a black state. Not only they didn't receive support from the government was on their asses. They hired white militia and Indians that joined onto them, the traders, and then they were harassing our people all the time, and they couldn't do it, brothers. They had no peace. They go left, whoosh, they go right, whoosh, they go up, whoosh, they go down, whoosh. Our people, they couldn't do anything without being persecuted. Every single thing they are doing, brothers, because the curse was heavy upon them, man. How the hell you gonna sit there and saying that you're gonna go to the same thing again? That how dare you saying this that was birth pain for what is to come for us again? As if we haven't suffered enough? Jacob's trouble again? Then what was that? What was all those things about? What was all those massacre, all those burning of our places and flooding our black cities, making a giant dam over there? What was all those things? All those were birth pain. Can you destroy our people? How far can you destroy our people? Our people is completely destroyed, brothers. When you look at our people, they are completely destroyed. How far you're gonna kill them? Is that what that is? You're going to take them and then kill them as if this is your first time doing this? Oh. Now, anybody heard of the story of Phoebe Francis? Anybody heard of Phoebe Francis? Frances or Francis? Anybody heard of the stories of Phoebe Francis? The sister that saved George Washington, the father of the independence, got saved by a black woman. A black woman saved him. He didn't die. You see the problem, brothers? You see the problem? 99, if not 100% of all people don't heard of, they ain't never heard of this sister. How dare you gonna sit there and tell our people, you never did anything for us. You never did this. Yo, we saved your first president. If we didn't do this, the whole country would have still be under the English or the British rules. Now, who was Phoebe Francis? Phoebe Francis or Frances was a West Indian black woman. She was one of the slaves that was in the house of George Washington. She was a cook. Now, there was an Irishman who was George Washington's best friend. He was the bodyguard of George Washington. He was like the right hand of George Washington. And Phoebe Francis was a cook. Now, this Irishman was courting Phoebe. He really did like Phoebe Francis. And in the process, the Irishman name is Thomas Hickey. Okay, Hickey. Thomas Hickey. Okay, Thomas Hickey. Yeah, Thomas Hickey. Mr. Thomas was talking to Phoebe, but Phoebe was working in the quote unquote. They didn't have the White House back then. I'm not quite sure. It was, talking to Phoebe. So they become quote unquote romantically involved. Now, because Thomas becomes so romantically involved with Phoebe, now he starts telling Phoebe all his secrets. Apparently, Thomas Hickley, the Irishman, received a hefty amount of money from the British to kill George Washington. As a bodyguard, it would have been too obvious for him to do this. What he did, he had Phoebe prepare a meal for George Washington. And in the meal, he poured the poison in the peas. So he poisoned the peas, Peas, peas. And then he gave it to Phoebe. And then he told Phoebe to give it to George Washington. Our people. Because we have so much love and compassion, because the Most High built us like this. He didn't build us like that Irishman fellow, that Edomite fellow. That, take the money, kill him, we'll live, have a happy, heavy after, whatever you want to say. The sister went to George Washington. He said, don't eat it because it had poison in it. Thomas Irish put it in there. And Washington got jumped And then he took the food, brothers. He took the peas. He threw it outside. The chicken that was outside, brothers, ate the peas. They died instantly. And then Irish Thomas Hickey, Irishman, he was arrested, and then they hang him. When George Washington became president, he made Phoebe Francis the steward of the White House. All praises to the Most High. Our people save you. Our people breastfeeding your children. How dare you? How dare you say, oh, you guys never did anything for us. You guys are not heroes. Oh, let Hollywood tell this story, Regin. They will turn Thomas Hickley into a black, dark-skinned African scumbag black man there. They will make that guy Bigger Long thing, Bigger Long was there, and then they will flip the script. They will make that the Irish dude, that white guy, become the good guy and say, don't listen to this black man, baby. I love you. I'm going to do something. And then when George Washington was about to take the first bite out of that piece, and you see this black woman running in slow motion and jumping. No! And then while that black man that caused this was laughing, ha, 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 and the pea fell in his mouth. He accidentally swallowed it, and then he died. And then George Washington turned around and like, you saved my life. And that black woman like, yeah, I did. And then black woman will go to this white man and they start kissing, and then they start playing music, and then all the black women in the cinema, and then that's how they would have done it. You would have never known that's how it happened. That's Hollywood for you, sir. And then when you question those people, what they're going to say, that's just a movie, man. That's just a movie, man. Why are you so, man? It's just a movie, man. That doesn't mean it happened. Those scumbag, bucktooth monsters, they all be online like, man, that's just a movie, man. It didn't really happen, dude. Yo! You would have never, ever known that it's true story. They never said anything about it, brothers. They buried it. They met this man that George Washington looked like a god. That guy he was just, brothers, if it wasn't for this black woman, you would have never had this story. That's the Messiah again, brothers, showing things like this. That's the Messiah. All praises, man. All praises to the Most High, man. That's the Most High making a point. It says, those people, no matter what they did, they can't change. That's who they are. All right, so now, father of the Negro. Before we move in, anybody heard of Brother Allen? Let me see. What's his name again? Reverend Richard Allen. All the people be one squad. You should have known about Reverend Richard Allen. For some odd reason, I don't know. Reverend Richard Allen. Richard Allen. Reverend Richard Allen. Anybody know about him? I got the first no. Brenda Hill say yes. Somebody say no. No. Yes. Anita, no. Yes. Reverend, okay, at least 2 or 3 people know about Reverend Richard. Okay, I'll say, all right, AME Church, all praises to the Most High. Some of our, heard of him. Some of our people here. This is the story of Reverend Richard Allen. Brother Allen, Philadelphia and the Mason-Dixie line, the official boundary between the nation's free and slave states, were only a few miles apart. This geographic proximity allowed white slave owners to travel north to the city of the brotherly love, in order to randomly abduct freed black men and another slave for they claim were runaways. Like the beloved sister Lisa Cabrera told you, Robert E. Lee was the biggest black kidnappers. That's what they used to do. They will go ahead and start kidnapping black men and force them to put in slavery. After the blacks left, the South fell. That's why the South is all messed up. It's still in the same place that it was in 1865, after the post-civil antebellum. Smart people like to say, post-antebellum. Confuse the hell out of you. That's why Big Levi used a big word. Anyway, Allen, okay, Reverend Allen, born a slave in Philadelphia in 1760, all right, was one such victim. So Brother Allen was just working. He was a free man. He was just working, all right? He was walking around. Allen was kidnapped, was seized by slave traders who signed sworn affidavits that he was a fugitive, okay? After many prominent Philadelphian, black and white, testified on Allen's behalf, the charges against him were dismissed, and the white slave trader was in prison for perjury. So they kidnapped the brother, and then they say, yes, he's a slave. He's a runaway slave. But they didn't know he was a well-known preacher. Some brothers, the Most High take some of our people, he instruct them side, and then brought them to our people, such as Moses. And Allen was one bad mother, man. Allen was one bad mother. Now, they kidnapped Allen. They didn't know he was a reverend. And then when he told them, they arrest him, he said, I'm not a slave. They say, yes. They sign affidavit. They say, yes. Oh, all right. Okay, I'm buffering. Just enjoy this. I'm good to go, brethren. Am I? Somebody said I was buffering. I'm good to go. Please let me know. All right, I'm good. Thank you. What do we have here? Okay. Now, and when a group of people say, hey, let the reverend go, so they circle them, and a bunch of whites and black, they say, yes, they know Reverend Allen, he's a free man. So those guys, they went to prison. They actually freed Reverend Richard Allen. After the ordeal, Allen, who converted to Protestantism at 17, went on to convert his masters, buy his freedom for $2,000, becoming a preacher, and founded Philadelphia's African Methodist Episcopal, AME. African Methodist Episcopal, AME Church, of which he was the first bishop, a pioneer among black abolitionists and president of the first black AME Church convention in the Western world. Allen played a pivotal role in defining black politics. He personified the value of hard work, refusal to accept subordinate status, and emphasize collective action. In a nutshell, Allen's thesis was black empowerment. In fact, he was so close identified with the movement for black freedom and independence, and some call him the father of the Negro. Allen wasn't a preacher at all. He was probably the father of the Black Power movement. Reverend Allen. He detached himself completely from those people, from his own church, from his own thing. Once the so-called brothers, did you know a lot of reverends do this? Once they detach themselves completely from whites, and then they start surely reading the Bible, the whole narrative change. They call them militant now. Oh, you're not talking about white Jesus and stuff. We're gonna have to cut off your ass at that 501c3 thing, So Back then, they didn't have that. That is why they created the 501c3 thing. Shut the hell up. You better say what we told you to say. He didn't want that. He didn't need that. Many of our preachers, brothers, back then, they didn't deal with this garbage. Reverend Martin Luther King was a preacher, brothers. They didn't deal with this garbage. When they start reading the book, they're like, I'm going against this book all my life. And they start preaching the whole thing. And then they're like, you can't talk about this thing. You want to live in this free house, free taxes, and you can rip and rob and do whatever you want to those kids, to those women in your church, those men in your church. Preferably you do this to the men, any man force a cowboy hat upon themselves and do stuff to them, we will protect you. The priesthood of Mahan, they love this type of garbage. If you want that 501c3, if you still want this thing, you can't talk about certain subjects, you cannot bring them. I believe today I was listening to the beloved brother Big Judah podcast, and one brother called, he was talking about TD Jakes, and he said something. He had a dream and he saw TD Jakes in a cafeteria, and then he came into the cafeteria. He saw some place like that, and TD Jakes was running around. He trying to open the door, and then he come to him, and TD Jakes said, "Brother, I'm in a seat. I'm in this room right now. I can't get out." He can't get out, brothers. And the dream was so funny. I understand what the brother understand what this dream mean, but the cafeteria it's more, it's go deeper than that. And I was laughing the whole time. Some of the preachers, brothers, they didn't play this. Now our preachers, you see them out there, they are preaching cowboyism. Cowboyism is good, man, and as long as you love your partner and you can do cowboyism. What is it? Yeah, two cowboy men can give life as long as the guy that giving it so hard to the other guy to cause him to get pregnant. Zaza, that's how they say it. So now it's all about, it's the whole thing, brothers. It's all messed up. Our preachers have no backbone because they will cut off their help. Not Reverend Richard Allen. All praises to the Most High. All right. Let me see. Okay. David Walker, a rare militant. Born the son of slave, father of free mother in Wilmington, North Carolina, David Walker grew to become the Boston businessman and abolitionist. Walker claimed fame came in 1829 when he circulated the pamphlet titled Appeal, a powerful plea for black liberation. Okay? The appeal circulated widely in the North and South, and many credited with provoked slave revolt and helping the shape public debate led to the Civil War. This brother published a pamphlet, a letter. He published called the appeal. And this pamphlet, brothers, he wrote so many stuff that when he published it, the state offered $10,000 if they could bring him alive, and $1,000 if they could bring him dead. The brother was sharp, brother David Walker. And guess what? Guess what, brother? $10,000 alive, $1,000 dead. This letter was like the blueprint for the Civil War. This letter was like the ignition. That was like the spark that ignited the Civil War. I'm going to let you do a little research on that. This is what happened to the brother. A year after the offer in 1831, the abolitionists died under mysterious circumstances. Some claim Walker died for his people's freedom. Others claim he was murdered for the bounty, $1,000. $1,000. Now, this is one of my favorite story, brothers. This is one of the best story out there. All right. A master felt the golden rule. On rare occasions during the Civil War, black slaves exercised a measure of revenge for their mistreatment while in captivity. One slave owner who took perverse pleasure in beating naked female slaves was captured by the Union Army in 1864. The Union Army general, a devoted abolitionist, ordered the slave owner stripped down and bound to a tree. The general ordered black male soldiers to whip the white slave owner. When they finished, 3 female slaves who the slave owner had regularly beaten for minor infractions took their turn, settling some old painful scars. The black female slaves had gotten their change to do unto others what they have done unto you. All praises to the Most High. In 1864, there was the general, one of the high top general of the Union. He captured a plantation, and this white slave owner, he used to beat black women naked just for the little minor infraction and little minor stuff. He stripped them naked and beat them. And then they like, oh, is that what you like to do? And then they have the black soldiers strip his body butt naked. They tie him up to a tree. Oh, and they season that dude with whips. They season in his back. They beat the spirit out of him. And then they call the black women that he used to beat. They have him beat him. The 3 sisters, they beat that guy until their hand become weak. They beat that guy just like David. David killed so many men in one battle that his hand become faint. He could not even lift the sword. From morning to all the way up to tomorrow, and that night, he's still killing people. Whip him, whip. Now, I don't know, maybe that white man enjoy being whipped like that. You know, some of them got that fetish stuff. They like being brutalized and whipped. And I was watching a story, the beloved sister Lisa Cabrera did, like one of those Buddhism fellow. He got whipped so bad, he liked it so much that he died. He never said the quote unquote the safety word. He never said it. The woman whip him until he bleed to death, and then he died. He liked it so much. Some of them, they are into this type of nonsense, man. All praises to the Most High, man. Oh boy. All right. Give me a second, brothers. Let me see. I don't want to keep you people too long. All right, we're almost done. A slave who was a double spy. The Union won the Civil War in part because it had the advantage of one more industry, soldiers, technology, and a centralized form of communication. Essentially, in the North, they had both the military materials and moral ground. On the other side, the Confederacy was able to put up a valiant struggle because it owned the greater concentration of wealth, had trained military leaders and millions of unpaid slave labor who supplied food, military supply, and came for unattended white families and farms. That is true. The South was way more powerful. They had way more money, way more guns. They got way more everything. But one thing they didn't have is the will of the slaves to fight. Some slave was fighting for the South to keep slavery, but most slaves wanted to be free, so they fight for the North. They won't fight for the money. Do you know what that means when you're fighting for your freedom? You'll fight like hell. You won't fight to die. You will fight to stay alive, to enjoy that freedom, man. All praises. The presence of 5 million black slaves, however, was a knife that cut both ways. A small number of slaves were heroes because they refused to assist the South. Okay? A small number, listen this, a small number of slaves were heroes because they refused to assist the South. Instead, they choose to organize subversive forces within the Southern Confederacy. They refuse to work. Others hurt the pro-slavery cause by feigning loyalty while serving as spies, saboteurs, and guerrilla forces for the North. This is big deal, man. This is a big deal. What happened here? It is said that so a small numbers of the blacks in the South, they refuse to do anything for the North. They become spies for the North. They become saboteur. They become they put powder. They used to call those guys bushwhacker. In the movie The Hateful Eight, they talk about the bushwhackers. Okay, they used to hide behind bushes and then wait until the guys pass and then whack them. Their own people, their own army, the South, because they didn't want to serve as slaves. Remember, brothers, when the Mosai want to free his people, he will turn the head of some of the Gentiles. You see what he did? He made a white man capture another white man, strip that white man naked, and let a bunch of black people wail on him with a whip. Okay? Don't worry about what's gonna happen. Don't worry about what's gonna happen, man. There are a lot of stuff gonna happen. Others, okay. Thousands of runaway slaves enlisted in the Northern War to serve as soldiers, construction workers. Listen to this: soldiers, construction workers, woodcutters, cooks, scales craftsmen, and servants. A total of close to 200,000 black men formerly helped the Union Army rout their Confederate counterparts. Some historians posit that without black support, the North would not have won the Civil War. Without black support, the North would not have won the Civil War. It was black men who won the war. The North was poor. The North did not have hish. All the blacks stole everything and bring it to the North. The North won because of black men. And after that, they didn't receive no pension, no land, no reparation, no restitution, no restoration. They received more indignation. After they helped them, brothers, yes, they killed them, they hung them, they lynched them. World War One, World War Two would not have been won if it wasn't for black men. After our people won the war, they lynched them in their uniform. If you cannot learn from this, if you think your sweet talk about love can change those people's heart, you are into deep fecal matter. You are swimming in an ocean of fecal matter. And you're drowning in it. I'm not the guy that's going to try to get you out of it. After everything is won, brothers, our people get kicked to the curb. Heroes, but not citizens. Yes, the Korean War, the Vietnam War. Did you know in the Vietnam War, they used to take black men and put them in the front line? When they put all the black men in the front line, they will go fight the Vietnamese. The Vietnamese did not want to shoot. Some of them, they don't want to shoot them. You can ask the veteran, they don't want to shoot them. And they stop them. They say, what the hell you guys are doing here? We don't have any beef with you people. And then they will return those black men. When they take the black prisoner, they don't treat them like white prisoner. They will release the black prisoners. Vietnam had a great respect for the so-called black men till this day. because they know the truth. The Vietnamese general, there's a Haitian story I have to bring you. He actually copied the Haitian code, the Haitian revolution. That's how he won the war. He said this on the book that he wrote. He said, because of the black men from the West Indies, little island in Haiti, the emperor. He said, because of him, his strategy, that's how he beat the 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 so-called American. A lot of people around the world know who we are, especially the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs. They know who we are, man. They tell you all the time. But brethren, let us moving in. It's already 10:48. I don't want to keep the people for so long. Now, he was but not citizen. The Revolutionary War, the first major conflict between this land and foreign power, generated heroes from the rank of blacks, both freed and slave. In the 1880s, just before the Revolutionary War, the slave Thomas Peters became a black military legend. Peters and 20,000 other black slaves sided with the British during the war in hopes of gaining their freedom. Peters was an excellent soldier who received many accolades, but when his side went down to defeat, so did his hope for freedom. A few years later, in 1788, a black slave named Dick Pointer Zaza saved the lives of many white settlers. One early morning at Fort-Lauderdale, Virginia, by singly holding off a surprise Indian attack until the garrison awoke and came visit him. Brother, this dude, Dick Pointer, saved the lives of many white settlers. By himself, he held a whole garrison of traders, Indian, that came in to fight the whites. He stopped them. Even though we were going through this trouble, brothers, even though, beloved, our people did not truly know who they were, they still had the power of the Heavenly Father flow through them. They still had the soldier, like the military might of the Father, flow onto them. They could fight thousands all by themselves. Louis Pacheco. Louis Pacheco was another little known black slave turned hero of the Third Seminole War. Not only did he get revenge for his enslavement, but he exacted it against a famous military leader, Major Francis Dade of the United States Army. So Francis Pacheco was a genius. Francis went to the cavalry, to the army. So he started talking to the General Francis, and he tell Francis, listen, man, I know you are fighting those Indians down there, and I got intel on them, on them Negroes, man. I can help you defeat them. So he talked to Francis, talked masterfully. He manipulated Francis. And then Francis said, you know what? Here's some money. Go, show us where those guys at. So Louis Pacheco said, follow me. And he took the general with all his army. And then they went in the midst of the swamp, in the middle of the night, in the darkness, to go arrested and kill the Seminole Indian. And then Louis Pacheco, he led them to the one way. He led them deep into the swamp alligator, and then it was an ambush. The chief of the Indian Seminole came in with a bunch of men. They were waiting for him, and they massacred all of them. Only 4 of them got saved. Louis Pacheco outsmarted the general. 4 of them got saved. The rest, no more. All praises to the Most High. In 19th century, Caesar developed. There was another group, brothers. Okay, numerous other blacks also emerged from the 3 Seminole Wars as heroes. John Caesar. Okay, John Caesar was another hero. Right, John Caesar, a black slave in South Carolina, was a double hero for saving lives in South Carolina with his medical cures and for taking lives as a warrior in Florida. In the 19th century, Caesar developed antidotes for several poisons. The brother developed an antidote for several poisons. Master of the trees, of the plants. For his medical achievement, his home state of South Carolina granted him meritorious manumissions from enslavement as well as 100 pounds in cash. He was a natural healer. So they freed him, they give him 100 pounds in cash. That's a hell of a lot of money. Several years later, in 1820s, Caesar joined the struggle of runaway slaves and Indians in Florida. Within a short time, he became a feared and valiant black warrior. He was a leader within the Seminole tribe and led raids and plantations in border states of freed and recruited slaves in the cause. His raid focusing national attention that eventually brought an end to the Seminole War. Like so many other runaway slaves, John Caesar was a hero, a role model to black leadership. All praises. Yeah, John Caesar was pretty good. He was a masterful doctor. He created a bunch of antidote to the poison, then he used the poison to kill the enemy. All praises, man. A time for slave revolts. Let me see. It's gonna be 4 minutes, brethren. It's gonna be 11. I don't wanna go too much, brothers. I don't want to go too much, brothers. You guys want me to still keep on trucking or pick it up tomorrow because it's gonna be 11 p.m. I don't know if I'm boring the people. Should I keep on moving? Oh, let's see what the people said. Mm-hmm. Should I keep on trucking, brothers? Not boring at all. Keep it moving. Yes, continue. Okay, some people say pick it up tomorrow. All right, Brandy, sister Brandy. All right. Some people okay. All right. Most people say let us keep going. All right. Let us keep on. Let's finish this, brothers. A time for slave revolt. Many students of human behavior and historians have wondered why black slaves suffer such inhumane treatment for many centuries and attempted to fuel revolts. People do not typically revolt when conditions are so oppressive that they had no hope of succeeding. The slavery system was comprehensive and effective. That is true. All right. They were not only heavily outnumbered, but they had no weapon to speak of or training to use them. What they are saying here, brothers, our people, not only they didn't have the skills to fight. You've been spending hundreds of years in slavery. You didn't have no skills to fight. You didn't have no weapon. You didn't have no training. And you were outnumbered and you were confined in one spot. Did you know the slave never known there were any other people, there were any other slave in other states? They thought they were the only person. They never really let them know that other slave exists in other places, except for the slave that travel for their masters. Because certain places, slaves, they don't treat them the same way that they treat them somewhere in the south. So they would have hide information for them, especially from that little island called Haiti. At a subtle level of resistance, slaves nonetheless respond to whites' oppression by feigning illness, crippling themselves, committing suicide, poisoning their masters, and setting fire to properties of which they labor. More aggressive slaves escape to maroon settlement in Indian communities and the wilderness were often plotted against their oppressor. Our people, they could not fight. You do better. You damn well know they were going to fight one way or another. They will fake they are being healed. They will poison the masters. They will set the properties, the cotton places where they're working on fire. They'll do all sort of things to get freed, brothers. They'll do all sort of things. Talking about talking about all sort of things they will do, brothers. There was two black slaves. Their name was brother Mark and Phyllis. Those were two black slaves. Their master wrote in his will that after his death, those two slaves may be free. And the moment, that's why they always hide information from you, brothers. That is why they always keep information from you. Certain books, certain records. I find a record, brothers. Right after this, I'm gonna tell you the story, and then I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it a day. Let me see. I'm gonna call it. Let me stop right here. I'm gonna call it a day. There are two slave brothers, Mark and Thomas. They couldn't wait. Doing their research, they find out that their masters in their will said the moment that he die, both of them will be freed. Beloved, what would you do? Brethren, let us be honest here. What would you do? What would you do, brothers, if you find out the guy that owned you, the moment he's dead, you are free? The moment that guy is dead, oh, wait a minute. The moment when you scumbag lose this blessing, hey. So Mark and Thomas get together. They read this information in the will. And they say, oh, hell to the mother loving Noah. And then they poison him. But the neighbors, okay, the white neighbors did some stuff. They get some coons, they squeal on them, and they find out what Mark and the other brother did, and they hang them. They kill them because they wanted their freedom. Beloved, that is why they are hiding books from you. Because the moment, brothers, you find out, wait a minute, I can do this, I can do that, and then I will be free. Oh, I'm here, baby. That is why they hide things from you. Now, telling you what happened. Doing my research and in the library, in the front. Well, I didn't go to the library though. Uh, Over here, there's the Library of Congress. Okay, we have the Library of Congress in France, Paris. They have quote unquote their own Library of Congress, like. And doing my research, not over there, then again, not there, doing my research, I find out there are some records, brothers. There are some records out there that our people have a scepter. We have a scepter there. That it's not like the scepter they stole it. It's not like a scepter that is they have it there. It's a scepter that's been stored there until one of the descendant of this great king come over there and claim the scepter. All praises, man. Deep info, man. Yeah, we have a scepter there. For those of you who catch my drift, if you come over there, you claim the scepter, brothers. This scepter came with all the goodies, all the land that this king used to have, which is one of our ancestors. I'm not gonna say the name of that king. Recent king. And I'm not talking about like a Bible king. I'm talking about recent king. Like you know his name. He has a scepter over there. And in the book, they give the location, they give the name, they give the code, and they give all the things that you need to do to go get the scepter. But only one person, only a certain group of people can get that scepter. That is why they don't want you to go anywhere and research anything. Beloved, before I let you go, you don't go to the Library of Congress to go look for book on women's, for book on how to grow your third leg a little bit, a few centimeters. But look, that's not the point. The thing is, when you go in those places, brothers, look in documents documents in the 1800, document they are hiding from you, brothers. You'll be surprised. You'll be amazed. Like, wow, this information exists. And all we have to do is to claim it. What, no wonder the Messiah is releasing those information unto us now, brothers. Oh, yes. Beloved, there will be a time, there will be a day that when this day come, I don't know who that dude that's going to claim that scepter, but it belongs to us. Brethren, it's not like something they say anybody could. They made it specific. It is written, brothers. They say this is the scepter of this king, that before this king died, he signed this treaty with our president or our king. He said, "And the latter day, when that stuff 400 years is over, there will be a group of people. There will be one of them that will go over there and claim the scepter." I don't know which one it is, but it's a prophecy though. That is why I let it out there, and people will know. Anybody that feel like it's in the library, it's in a French library. That's where the scepter is, and it's in the French. The information is in the French library. I believe the scepter is in the Germany library. Beloved, if you or your loved ones can travel, go to those giant libraries. Go to the Vatican and ask them, I would like to access the records of the slaves. All country around the world got records on slavery. Every single one of them, China, India, the Philippines, Thailand, all of them, they all have slavery records. And you just say, I'm here to claim them. Straight up. And the Holy Spirit will move on there and say, this here, sir, this way, sir. And then they will give you those things. Okay, some sisters say they went to Venice Library, Italy. They will try again, sister. Fast pray, and then go over there to the Venice Library and go straight to them and tell them, I want the record of the slave, the property of our kings, and what our people live here. And I'm here to learn where they at and how to take them. All the countries around the world have slave book record. Don't listen to anybody telling you, oh, that was happened like 400-500 years ago. Are you? The Bible happened thousands of years ago, and thousands of years ago, at least each of you here that watching here has a Bible. Yet you have the record in the Bible. Okay, so you had the record that was written thousands of years ago, and then frankly, you do not have the record that was written for a couple of hundred years ago. Brothers, couple of hundred years, the last slave died in 1975. 1975. That's not even 50. Is it 50 years ago? No. 1975 is not 50 years ago, right? Am I doing my math right? It's not even 50 years ago the last slave died. The last slave, we went into this. So, man, they have our records, brethren. They have all our stuff. Okay, beloved? So, yeah, 45 years ago, man. Only 45 years ago. 4 plus 5, 46 years ago. Not that long, you know. You got people here that are over 40. You got people that can clearly remember that year 1975. They can tell you, yep, in 1975, this happened, that happened. They can remember. So you mean to tell me this slave, when he died, he didn't leave anything to any record to his people and stuff? Don't let people fool you. Those people got very clear, precise, and correct record of our people. Where did they leave their stuff? Because they know there are certain things they're not allowed to touch. They know there are certain places they are not allowed to go. The whole thing about Antarctica, they are talking about garbage. It's not like they're a little alien in Antarctica. That is because there's a treaty that say, yeah, you scumbag goes nowhere near there. Try to touch the dolmen and the menhir that we get there, try to activate the portal, the Most High will come after you. And then in fact, your job is to guard in it. Make sure no other scumbag come over there. When the time is right, there will be a group of people that will go over there and then will just vacate the premises, or the premises, so to speak. Beloved, by the power the Most High vested in me, because we spent so much time today from the video to this, so close to 5 hours. So, by the power of the Most High vested in me, I'm leaving all of you in peace. Tomorrow at 8:30 p.m., hopefully, we will pick up. We will see what happened, brothers, okay? So, for those of you who want information, pray. Go to those big libraries, brothers. Ask records of the slaves, record of the kings, record of the biblical kings. They always want to tell you that the biblical king, they are a myth, until you stumble with concrete record that tell you, hey, this and this and that and this. Brothers, be at peace. Thank you for all of you that were here talking to me and all that stuff, brothers. I'll see you tomorrow for the prayer, okay? It's 11 o'clock. I don't want to keep you folks up too long. Shalom. I'll see you folks tomorrow. May the king reign forever.